It's just after 6:30, and this is Rita, who's just putting on her walking boots and getting ready for the day. How are you this morning, Rita?
I think I'm very well, thank you. Yes, not 100% sure because it's very early.
Right.
But and this poor thing's not letting me go because he thinks he's going to be left behind.
And this is Coco, and this is our first day ever of going on holiday together, and we're really excited about that. And the date it's the 19th.
I believe it is, yeah.
Yeah, of May, and we're heading off to Anglesey and to Wales, and it's going to be a long story, and I'm not going to try and tell you it all in 5 minutes, but the story will unfold. I'm going to Manchester to see my daughter Sam, to leave a birthday present for my granddaughter Ilsa, whose birthday is very soon, and then we're driving off to Anglesey, so you'll see it all unfold. And I'm very excited because this is the first holiday I've had for a long time, and as I said, the story will unfold.
I was just going to say, and Jim has been acting like it's Christmas Day. First thing in the morning, bouncing off the walls he is.
Absolutely.
Little boy.
Hello, you.
You're all right, Cookie. He's a real character, he's an absolute nutcase. He drinks beer as well.
What?
Cookie.
It was great to meet Jim's daughter Sam and granddaughter Ilsa again. We last met over the Easter holiday. Ilsa was delighted with her 11th birthday present, an acoustic guitar. Who knows, one day she might be jamming Jimi Hendrix songs with her granddad.
Just before 9 o'clock, Ilsa went to school. We waved goodbye to Sam and headed for the M56 towards Chester on the Wales border. We soon passed Manchester Airport, heading for Anglesey, a journey of 104 miles, but we encountered a huge delay and hours of slow-moving traffic. By midday, the sun came out, the traffic dispersed, and we made our way for an overnight stay at a campsite near Amlech in the northeast corner of the island. By mid-afternoon, with our destination almost in sight, we decided to leave the A55 trunk road and take a break at Colwyn Bay and make a drink in the van, but more so to give Coco a run on the beach. This is the first time he has ever been in the van, or to Wales, or to the seaside.
We were amazed that Coco seemed to be immediately settled and happy to travel long distances in our campervan. Perhaps because Jim built him a special seat, allowing him to see outside and where we were going. Coco has never seen the sea before and didn't fancy a paddle, no matter how much I tried to persuade him.
Today had been a very good start to our very first campervan trip of 2022, despite heavy traffic delays. Hopefully, it will be the first of many to all parts of the UK later in the year and the years to come. The choice of starting in Wales was easy. Llandudno is one of my favourite places. I have been here many times. It holds many happy memories. I celebrated my 70th birthday here with close family. Llandudno seemed to be the ideal choice of the venue. At that time, I was about 1,000 miles into a 5,000 miles walk around the coast path of the UK. I remember walking through here as if it was yesterday. After an early start from a nearby campsite at Ross-on-Sea, I was heading for Conway via Llandudno, a distance of 15 miles. During the summer of 2018, the British Isles experienced an incredibly good spell of weather, the best since the summer of 1976. In fact, having just walked 391 miles in 31 days since leaving Carlisle on the 25th of May, I have experienced no rain whatsoever and perfect weather conditions throughout. It was a great feeling to walk into Llandudno, even so early in the morning with very few people out and about. The town is named as Queen of the Welsh Resorts. It's an interesting place and one of many such places that I walk through on my coast path walk around the UK. The objective of our campervan travels is to revisit some of those wonderful places and share some happy memories, but also to introduce Rita to some of the special people I met along the way, who I now regard as good friends for life. This short holiday will give us a chance to do that, and it will also allow Rita and Coco an opportunity to walk a section of the Pembrokeshire Coastal Path and experience walking one of Britain's finest walks. It was timely that my cable car proved to be the final ride of the day. the temperature soared in the 90s on that day. As a precaution, the operators closed the ride to the public, fearing that the metal structures would buckle under the intense heat. It was a hot day indeed, but perfect timing for the remainder of my 15 miles walk to Conway Castle before catching a bus back to my campsite at Ross-on-Sea. The walk around the Great Orme was perfect, with a slight breeze in my face to keep me cool. It was also very unusual and a stunning walk.
Sadly, time ran out on Coco and I having a chance of walking with Jim around the Great Orme on this occasion. The traffic jams we encountered this morning near Manchester cost us a lot of time. We had to make do with a van ride around this huge chunk of land before heading for our campsite. We were booked in for the night near Amlock in the northeast corner of Anglesey.
It was a great feeling to be back on the island of Anglesey. We arrived at Beaumaris just as the shops were closing around 5 p.m. We were gagging for a cup of tea. The whole place seemed very quiet and almost deserted. The last time I was here was on my UK Coast Path walk on Monday the 2nd of July 2018. The ambience seemed much different then, but that was pre-COVID days. It all seemed so much livelier only 4 years ago. Beaumaris is on the east coast of the island. I was walking anti-clockwise, therefore heading north to Amloch. The island of Anglesey covers 260 square miles. The coast path is classed as an area of outstanding beauty, 124 miles long and passing through 20 towns and villages. I had the pleasure of walking it. It took me 9 days. During the walk, I met lots of like-minded walkers who adore Anglesey, including Ray and Shirley Young from Ellesmere Port. After our brief meeting, we became good friends. Ray walked with me in several different locations, including other Anglesey walks, the Lynn Peninsula and Scotland East Coast, including walking together over the Forth Road Bridge.
The first day of our first campervan adventure had been a great success, even though we had spent most of the day on the road. We left Beaumaris around 6 p.m. and drove to Amloch, where we had booked a campsite ready for a second day on the island. Jim was keen to show me other places of interest he had discovered on Anglesey before heading much further south to the Pembrokeshire coast path, and at Dinas Cross we would meet more good friends that Jim had met in 2018 on his UK Coast Path walk. Finally.
Yeah, it's about 9 o'clock Friday morning and we stayed here at Amloch last night. How did it go, Rita?
It went really well. This is my maiden evening and night in a campervan, maiden day in a campervan as well. And it was a lovely day. It was bright blue sky. It was a beautiful day to travel. Yeah. The various different places we came through, most of which I can't remember the names to, but that's not a problem. And we've come to this beautiful campsite, which has nothing except for toilets and a shower and lots of sheep, and an empty field and absolutely beautiful silence other than the birds and the sheep. Wonderful. Yeah,
and it was only 18 quid a night as well. And
yeah, it was. That's with the hookup.
And that's with hookup, which is quite amazing, really. You won't get much cheaper than that.
No.
And it's just south of Amloch. It's about 2 miles south of Amloch, but I can recommend it. Lovely people.
Yeah, really nice.
And it was our first night in the bed as well last night.
It was, yes. Yeah. It was, I think I've overdone the bedding underneath what we're sleeping on. I thought we might need some extra padding on the mattress, but it was a bit like sleeping in a swamp, but moving around was a bit difficult.
Yeah, but we slept all right.
But we slept really well, and it wasn't cold, and the duvet stayed in place because I've hooked it to the wall. So and the dog was under the bed and loved it. This little man here.
He's been settled. He's been all right, hasn't he? He's been a good boy.
Yeah.
He's been a good boy.
He's enjoying it.
He's sleeping under the bed last night.
Yeah. And there wasn't any hiccup at all, I think, until the cat appeared at the campervan door this morning when we were having breakfast.
So the plan now is we're packed up. We've had breakfast and we're going to Campervan Bay, which is about 7 miles away, and we'll talk then.
Okay, I'll see you later.
We had made an early start because the weather forecast predicted heavy rain by the early afternoon. Tonight we were booked in at a site near Fishguard in Pembrokeshire, which is 157 miles south of here. So for the second day, we are going to be on the road all day again. We noticed that everywhere seemed to be very quiet this year, with very little evidence of holidaymakers. Campervan Bay looked as if an alien spaceship had whisked away every human being off to another planet. Further along the coast, Church Bay was deserted too, apart from a disciplined group of teenage walkers achieving the Duke of Edinburgh Gold Award.
With time running out on us before a long drive south, Jim was keen to show me Newburgh Beach. On arrival at the car park, there's no clue of the stunning scenery and spectacular views of the Snowdonia National Park mountain range. The beach proved to be the biggest on Anglesey and one of the largest I've seen anywhere. We almost had the beach to ourselves, and with the strong winds providing bucketfuls of fresh air, we enjoyed ourselves running up and down and giving Coco his first experience of chasing around without a lead. At the west end of the beach is Love Island. Legend has it that the Welsh saint of lovers, St Dwynwen, apologies for my pronunciation, lived out her life there in the 5th century following a sad romance. Unfortunately, due to the tidal situation, we didn't have enough time to visit the island.
So then, Rita, what did you think of Newburgh?
Newburgh is beautiful. Beautiful forest, although we didn't go into the forest too much, but beautiful together. A wonderful beach. And we walked all the way along, well, a large amount of the beach, and we were walking to Love Island, and Love Island gets cut off at high tide. Well, there's a lot of water anyway, and we decided the tide was going out, so we walked all the way to the edge of Love Island, but then decided that actually maybe the tide was coming in rather than going out, and we just had to do a little paddle to get back to the main part of the beach. And then we had trouble finding which was the walk off of the beach, but having said all that, it was absolutely beautiful, and we could have stayed there for another however long until the tide finally came in. Really lovely.
And so would you want to come back here again?
Back here again without any question. Everyone I've spoken to has said whenever you go to Anglesey you've got to go to Newburgh Beach, and that's what we did. Wonderful.
It was great to revisit many of the places I had walked through during my UK Coast Path walk during 2018, and also to introduce Rita to some stunning scenery and interesting places. Now for a long drive south along the coast, but before we leave Anglesey there is just one more place to see. So Rita,
Yes.
you were telling me that it's about 50 years since you came here, and you remember reading the name of this railway station?
Yeah, it was actually 59 years ago I was last here.
59 years.
Yeah, with my brother.
Yeah.
I must have been 10, 11, something like that. He's a
Yeah.
couple of years older than me. And we both made it our mission in life. We bought a postcard
Yes.
and both made it our mission in life to learn how to say the thing.
So just come here with me then, please.
Okay,
So
following you now.
have a look up there. And
So now, as far as I can remember, and apologies to anybody who's Welsh because my accent is probably rubbish, but from what I can remember, it is Llanfair Pilgin Gylch Gogeri Cwyn Jobwth Llantysliogogoch. That's it. And I think it's something like 58 letters or something.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The weather forecast was spot on. As we left Llanfair PG and drove over the Britannia Bridge over the Menai Straits, the heavens opened as predicted by the BBC. Hopefully, as we progress southwards, hugging the coast, things will improve. Soon after, we reached Carnarvon. It was only a quick visit, but being so quiet, it gave me a chance to video the castle with an empty car park. When I walked through here in July 2018 on my UK Coast Path walk, it was impossible to take a photograph of Carnarvon Castle without having 50 unwanted cars included. We followed the coast as we headed south, but on occasions were forced to go inland. The River Dovey meant we had to follow the north bank through Machynlleth, then follow the south bank back to the coast, before eventually reaching Aberystwyth. My attraction to Aberystwyth is not easy to explain. I have been here several times over the years, but more so over the past 3 or 4 years since walking the UK Coast Path, simply because I met some wonderful people who live in Dinas Cross in Pembrokeshire, which is only about an hour south of here. Therefore, Aberystwyth is like an oasis on a long drive from Manchester. Aberystwyth is a university town in the county of Cardiganshire with a population of around 18,000. Wikipedia gives it a warm write-up, describing it as giving a cultural link between North and South Wales. To me, it reminds me of many other Victorian seaside resorts, such as Scarborough or Whitby, which was brought to life with the advent of the national railways. The Cambrian railway line from Machynlleth reached Aberystwyth in 1864 with links to Carmarthen. On Monday the 13th 2018, I walked through this wonderful town on my UK Coast Path walk, heading for Cardigan. Lovely bunch of people, very nice to meet you all, and kind regards to you all, and I hope you have a nice walk today. I hope the weather improves. It says later on the sun's going to come out, but you know, I don't know about this weather. I think those heady days of the June weather seem to be over. My next meeting with this wonderful group of active walkers came 15 months later at the home of David Granville Watson and his wife Janice. They lived further south at Dinas near Fishguard on the Pembrokeshire coastal path. David and I had kept in touch as correspondents with regular phone calls. Most of his group of walkers also became Facebook friends. After a long spell of wet, windy weather, the sun appeared for my 2-day visit, so we enjoyed an 8 miles walk along the coastal path. So what do you say then, David?
Jem, here we go.
Beautiful. David is a well-respected man and a volunteer worker maintaining the Pembrokeshire coastal path, and what he doesn't know about it isn't worth knowing. I thoroughly enjoyed my visit and wish to thank David and and his lovely wife Janice for their wonderful hospitality. And it was lovely to meet his wonderful group of walkers. It was so refreshing to walk and chat with so many like-minded people.
After a 5-hour, 157 miles journey from Anglesey, we arrived at Trego's campsite at 7 o'clock. We were tired and hungry, and so had fish and chips rather than make a meal. We were tucked up in bed by 9 p.m. It had been another long day on the road. We enjoyed a good night's sleep on a lovely comfortable king-size mattress and drove in to Fishguard. Jim was keen to call in at the Cresswell's cafe near the town centre. He first met owner Alan Cresswell on Monday the 20th of August 2018 during Jim's UK Coast Path walk.
So I've only been here in Fishguard for a matter of an hour, and I've met a wonderful guy who's allowed me to park on his outside his motor shop around the corner.
Yes.
And then I've come into Cresswell's cafe and I've met the proprietor, Alan. Now, Alan, you was telling me about your experiences walking the Pembrokeshire coast. Have you done the whole walk?
Not the whole walk. I've joined my wife. She did it for a friend who passed away 2 years ago, in memory of her. So I've walked with her as much as I could.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a lovely walk. It really is.
Yes.
She did from south to north, which is you're doing from north to south.
Yes.
Which they say is the worst way to go.
Oh. Oh, well, thank you.
Too late.
Yes.
But yeah, I think you've done the worst bit, which you said today you've done from Poppet to Newport.
Yes.
Today you're doing Newport to Fishguard, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's not bad. You've got some beautiful scenery. Wales has got some beautiful scenery, especially the coastal path.
Yes.
When you're walking from anywhere around here, it's beautiful. Once you hit, when you come around the corners, you see Fishguard in the distance.
Yes.
You've got the lighthouse in the distance as well, which is Strumble Head.
Yes.
You'll be doing that again, obviously, from tomorrow onwards. You'll be doing that
Yes.
route, I think. But it's beautiful.
Yes.
The coastal path is beautiful. Yeah.
Yes.
We're very lucky.
And I was saying the one thing that's impressed me about Wales more than anything is not necessarily the coastal path and the scenery, it's the people. Everybody's so extremely friendly.
Oh, that's nice to know, because there are some people that can be rude, but then again, you know...
Well, that's a bit anyway. No, but it makes life a lot easier.
Absolutely,
You know,
yes,
and,
yeah.
But
They call this area Little Britain beyond Wales, so...
Really?
Yes,
Is
so
it really?
you've come to the nicest bit, I think, anyway.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
I think it's all been nice. Once again, thank you very much. I'm really looking
You're very
forward to
welcome.
one of your nice big breakfasts.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And I wish you luck on the rest of your tour.
Yeah. Thanks, Alan.
You're welcome, thank
very
you.
much. Thank
Cheers.
You.
Jim and I thoroughly enjoyed our visit to Alan Cresswell's cafe. The COVID situation forced Alan to make big changes to survive. His former cafe is now a bistro. It is our intention to take our hosts David and Janice for a meal this evening as a small way of saying thank you. The Cresswell Bistro seems to be a good plan. This information board tells the story of the last attempt by France to invade Great Britain. Here at Goodwick Sands, French forces assembled prior to their unconditional surrender without a shot being fired. On the 24th of February 1797, at the Royal Oak pub Fishguard, they signed a declaration not to invade again, and haven't done since. Folklore has it that these cliff tops were lined with armed British soldiers, but they were in fact hundreds of local women in homemade red and black uniforms with fake rifles. Stena Line provide a regular ferry service to Rosslare in Ireland.
We arrived at the home of David and Janice Watson at Dinas Cross at midday on Saturday as arranged. The Dinas homestead looked in good shape as usual. It was lovely to be back here again. For me, it was my 4th visit. Rita was also made very welcome. At 7 o'clock, Rita was dressed and ready for her first night out in Fishguard. We started at the Royal Oak. This is the pub where the French signed a treaty not to invade Great Britain again. We enjoyed a couple of beers and then a short walk through the town, heading towards Creswell's Cafe Bar. I booked a table for 7:30. We all agreed that the food was good, the service was excellent, and the atmosphere was warm and friendly.
I don't think I'm looking to it. And you could see the look on his face, his eyes rolled, thinking, what have I come to?
On Sunday, the 22nd of May, David kindly drove Rita and I to Newport to meet up with Diane Williams, a sister of David's wife Janice. The walk was approximately 7 miles and would take around about 2 hours. It was dry with good walking conditions, but with a strong southerly wind in our face. In 2018, I walked this part of the Pembrokeshire coast path to Fishguard. I thoroughly enjoyed the walk 4 years ago and would enjoy it again today. It's a rugged terrain walk, hilly, up and down, but with stunning scenery. For Rita, this was her first serious attempt at coast path walking. Both her and Coco the dog, I hope, would thoroughly enjoy the experience. So, what do you think of it so far, Rita?
That's beautiful, I think is the word.
Yeah.
Thought it was going to be rain, but in fact I think it's like a, what do they call it, a sea fret, a sea mist.
Yeah.
And so I've dressed in my warm coat, and I think I'm going to be taking it off and carrying it somewhere.
Yeah.
It's lovely, really nice. Yeah.
Lovely.
And almost deserted except for the bathers that are
Yeah.
that are in the freezing cold.
Yeah. Smashing. Glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah, brilliant.
Give us a wave. It's been a great afternoon, thanks to everybody. It's been brilliant. Brilliant. We said our goodbyes to David and Janice and set off early on our way back home. It's a 200 miles journey from Dinas Cross to Glossop. We took the cross-country route, unlike the journey here, via the coast. We had enjoyed a new experience for all of us, including Coco, who travelled very well. We had given our campervan quite a facelift over recent months and intend to visit many parts of the UK that are familiar or new to us. Rita and I are similar in that we have many friends, but few of them live in the Manchester area, which means that we have to travel. Our last stop of the day was at Rhyl. The beach was completely deserted. Not even a dog walker could be seen. Coco was happy to be let off his lead, but wouldn't go anywhere near the water. After Rhyl, we headed for Prestatyn for our last overnight stay. The following day, we headed for home, but couldn't resist calling in for a cup of tea with Ray and Shirley Young at Ellesmere Port. It was lovely to see them again. They are both looking very well. Hello, it's Jim and Rita, and thank you for watching the film, and we hope you enjoyed it. And the reason that we're just going to spend 5 minutes just having a quick chat with you, and because it's very important actually, because now Rita is 70, and it was your birthday yesterday,
Yeah,
Rita.
I've joined the club, 70s club.
Yes. And
Yeah.
how are you feeling? How does it feel to be 70?
Well, I'm excited, and I thought it would feel completely different because now I'm 70, but actually I feel like I did yesterday and the day before.
Well,
But that's good. I'm happy about that.
well, join the 70 plus club now.
Yes,
You know,
that's
you've got
right.
another 10 years of this.
Yeah. Well, I'm 70 plus 1 now.
Yes.
One day. Yeah.
And we just hope you've enjoyed the film, really. And basically, you've got the idea. We've said it often enough. When we got together, and that was
7 months ago.
7 months.
7
I mean,
months
may I
ago.
ask you publicly, how's that going?
Well, we've had our ups and downs, but basically really well.
Ups
really,
and downs.
really well. Yes.
Yeah, no, it's great actually. We get on very, very well, and we know each other inside out already, kind of thing. But it's hard to believe that the number of things that have happened and the great time we've had in the last 7 months have been unbelievable. And you know, we're becoming a bit of a formidable team now with some good ideas.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
with our little dog, we like doing a bit of walking and travelling and that kind of thing. And the vehicle obviously is the camper, and it's given us this opportunity. So if you want to see us, then send us an invite, because next year we're going to be using the van again. We're spending more time refurbishing it, and as an example, we're actually sitting on our bed at the moment. Well, this is going in the camper van, and my bigger bed, which is in the van, which is a super king size, is going to be bigger than this. So we decided that we want a bigger bed in here, so we're going to swap it around, and you know, so we're looking forward to that. So just to tell you also that there are more adventures for you to
Just
watch.
seen the one where we went to Wales, and then after that we went off. Well, we were home for a little while. We do have the odd break, but then in June we went down to Hampshire, and started that one off at the Severn Bridge. And then on to, what was the next one?
Well, in August we went to my neck of the woods. Actually, I'm a Yorkshireman. We went to Whitby, and thoroughly enjoyed that. It was very, very busy in Whitby, and we went through
school summer holidays was not the ideal time.
No, it wasn't.
No.
But we went on the train. There's a really good railway line with steam engines and all that kind of thing, which some people are quite excited about.
And I actually was surprised how excited I got as well. So,
Yes.
So that'll be repeated.
So that's something else for you to look forward to. And our most recent adventure, which was more a couple of weeks ago actually, we went down to Essex to meet new
My neck of
friends.
the woods.
And
My
yeah,
neck
I was
of
going
the
to say,
woods.
Auntie, you
Yeah.
went and had a really good look at parts
Yeah.
of Essex that I've never seen.
Including, I have to say this, including a bit of the English coastal path that wasn't there when you did your walks.
Yes, I mean, obviously you'll have discovered this during the film that you've just watched. I did the UK Coast Path Walk, which was 5,000 miles. I did that starting in 2018, when the official coast path in Essex didn't actually exist.
No, the path
So-
was there, but it wasn't official.
That's right,
Yeah.
and so I'm pleased that that's happened, because Essex proved to be probably the most difficult part of the walk, and a lot of it was on twisted little bendy roads rather than on the actual coast path itself. So anyway, that's all we've got to say, and thank you for watching again, and you can watch my films on YouTube, the whole walk, 390 days around Great Britain, and you're welcome to watch that, and you can send us a link, and we'll send you a link as well. So that's it.
Well, that's about it. Yeah, you, me, and our dog
Yeah,
are happy to visit anywhere now, really.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, nice to see you. Bye now. Bye-bye.
Bye.